Thank you for hanging out with me today. I am JB Bryan, the President and Chief Investment Officer at JB Bryan Financial Group. And I was really trying hard on trying to figure out how to set up the conversations. This is amazing that I'm determined, but I was looking at the Google Hangout, and I think it has something to do with the Hangout, but make sure that you leave your comments, and I promise, as usual, I will go to your comments and respond right afterwards, or email me at jb@jbbryan.com or jb@afroeconomics.com. Do you know about the workshop that's coming up? We just had a workshop last weekend, and the next weekend, March, is Founders Month, because I started the business in 1995 on my birthday. So during March, I love to celebrate, and it is the first day of March. And so on the 25th, during the workshop of Black Family Finances, I'm giving away a free, this book for free. This is $19.95, and you have to pay tax and everything, but not on March 25th. And you know what? I always do free shipping. So it's a good time to go ahead and get the book that has all of the 10 principles, the book that started it all. Well, it's actually the second book, because the first book doesn't have the Adinkra symbols in it. The Legacy Edition has the Adinkra symbols on it, but all of the books are available at AfroEconomics.com. Go to the bookstore and you can check out securely in the Square bookstore. But at the workshop, so register now so that I can order the books accordingly if you want to come on March 25th, so that I can get your book ready for you, the workbook. Make sure that you get it. And we're going to see, the workbook has all of the 10 principles, and we have the activities that we do on each of the principles of Afroeconomics. I'm excited. It's March 1st. In 10 days, it will be my birthday. And so if you think about it, give me a birthday gift and subscribe to AfroEconomics with JB Bryan. That would be the best gift ever. Make me feel loved. So today we're talking about Ralph Ellison's book, The Invisible Man. And I have some really, really important notes. And I don't even know why, because it was years ago when a client told me that the only book that he'll ever read, the only book he ever read, he was he is a multimillionaire, and he studied technical skills, and determined to be financially independent, and but didn't finish school. And he was like, the only book I ever read, the only book I will ever read is Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison. And of course, I had been to school, I got multiple degrees, and I had never read it. So, I went to work on trying to get an understanding of The Invisible Man. And it's an amazing book, especially when I think about it. Nobody really kind of thinks about it from a money perspective. When you look at all the different analysis, because there's a quote that I have here, and even from Ralph Ellison, and he talks about the invisible man. Here's the gist of it. He talks about, it's about the life of a Black person in the United States of America. And it was published in the 1950s. And he says, racism is a devastating force possessing the power to render Black Americans virtually invisible. And then someone writes about it in this review, and this is from a Swedish sociologist, writes about, it says, Ellison illustrates the powerful social and political forces that conspire to keep Black America, or Black Americans, in their place, denying them the inalienable right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness guaranteed to all Americans. And the book, I really encourage you to get the book, because it is so relevant today in 2017. In 2017. I have so much I want to say to y'all today that I'm just saying, but I'm really excited about sharing these ideas, because just when I said on Monday, So on Monday, I said, I really I'm feeling the relationship between being invisible as a Black person and financial management and economic empowerment and Afroeconomics. Being invisible and Afroeconomics. So that's Monday. By Monday night, I was asked to be on a Black History panel about Black History Month, presenting it to college students. They wanted to have a panel of Black professionals to talk to college students. Now, mind you, I got Invisible Man on my mind. I'm all into like, we cannot be invisible. We have to be economically empowered. We have to, make sure that we encourage first principle of Afroeconomics, our legacy, to have a better life than us, right? So I'm in here and I'm thinking legacy and everything. And I'm looking at the questions. And one of the questions was, do you think that, you Black professionals on the panel, do you feel that people should change their name if they have, basically we're saying, if you have a Black sounding name, if your name is Shamika, Tamika, whatever, my child has an Arabic name that would probably consider, it a Black sounding name. Do you think that they should change how they present their name on their resume when they're trying to get their foot in the door in corporate America? Now, I'm the oldest one on the panel, so I'm like assuming, of course, these young people are not going to feel this way. And the only people that I can really remember the most, and which hurt me, is that 2 Black males on the panel said, and one was an African, straight from Africa, first generation here from Africa. It said, yes, you should change your name, even though he was working in corporate America. And the other brother, I think, was working like in the government to some extent, doing something, but they both were working employees. And they said that they feel that you should change your name. And I immediately thought about, what Ellison was writing, that they were victims of that. They really felt that in order for them to get where they need to go, and I know that they cared about these kids. So I know that they weren't trying to say something to harm these young people. They were really, truly giving them their best. And the person in career planning and placement believed it. She did not agree with my analysis that we should be honest, that we should be truthful, and that there is absolutely no benefit to getting your foot in the door with someone who hates your very existence. That someone who would feel, or a business environment that would feel it would be necessary for you to be invisible. It is not that important. If you're going to school, you made this investment, you put all your money, you got these school loans, and the only way that you feel that you can pay your school loans back is to lie about the name that your mama gave you. We have to have come farther than that. And, and that's what he talks about in the Invisible Man. He gives, some examples, which I thought were very similar to what they were telling these kids in this panel discussion. And one discussion he gave was about, and of course, Invisible Man is like it's not about his life. It is a fiction. So but he's just what did they call it? It said I heard one I saw they described it as an allegory. An allegory is a story with both literal and symbolic meaning that can be read, understood, and interpreted at several levels. And so true, because here it is, 2017. He wrote this in in the 1950s, and I'm bringing it on a whole different level. I'm bringing it from a whole different vision. So yes, indeed, Ellison, you have an allegory. And so he has a story in there that he talks about where he was asked to come speak, to do some public speaking, because the young Black man in the story. The story goes over 20 years of his life, and he's young at this point. and he's asked to come do public speaking in front of a group of all white men. And he's, talking, and it's a really horrible, because when he goes in the story, they blindfold him and they force him to fight for his life, and he's all beat up. And at the end of the fight, that's when they allow him to speak to them. I mean, hey, there's definitely an underlying meaning in that too. It's like, so many will tell you that you get beat and you get beat and you get beat and you get beat, and then you get acknowledged. Then you get the, I guess, the privilege to speak in front of people. Sometimes, for many people, that's what it comes to. So you get this. So that at the end of doing the speech, the young black man gets a briefcase, and they give him a briefcase, and they said, "Man, thank you so much for doing your speech. Inside this briefcase is your scholarship to go to college." So, after a while, he leaves and everything, and I don't know, some time goes by, and he actually looks in the briefcase and he reads, what's about his scholarship. And I think it's actually right after he leaves, and then he looks into the briefcase, and he finds out that in the briefcase, there's a piece of paper. The piece of paper is not a scholarship. The piece of paper says, "Keep that nigga running." That's what it says on the piece of paper. Now, oh, how symbolic. But my thing is, if we sit there and we tell the generation of students now, and we allow them to put in their subconscious mind that there is a part of them, a core part of them, the name their mama gave them, the name their mama and their daddy gave them, that they need to be ashamed of, that is keeping that nigga running. Because what's the next thing that they'll feel like they need to change about themselves? What will be next? What will come up? And they're constantly going to feel like they have to compromise themselves just to reach in the briefcase and find out that it's a joke. They've been kidding to themselves. They've been joking themselves. They've been played. They sold their soul. So that's a first point. And then they have the second story, that he's a chauffeur at a school, and he's told to leave the school because as a chauffeur, the white man that founded the school asked him to drive him around, and that's his job as a student at that school, that he's supposed to be appreciating that he as a Negro has been given a chance to learn at this school. And the founder is telling him why, he feels that he has a responsibility to make sure that he has a chance to learn. So that, he's driving him around, and the founder starts begging him to take him to bad places that are inappropriate. But he takes him because he's trying to be obedient and keep his job as being a chauffeur so he can stay in school. So when they get mad at him and they kick him out of school, they give him 7 letters. And so he leaves the South. At this point, he's in the South, and he takes his 7 letters to go to school up north. So he comes up north to go to school, and he's giving these letters out, and he's wondering, why he isn't getting the response that he wants. He doesn't get the response he wants. And he finally looks at the letter, and the letter is saying that this is a bad kid. Don't let him in. He's been expelled. Don't give him the opportunity. It's just crazy. But he just doesn't know that he's thinking that these people have helped him out, and they've given him these letters of recommendation. You know what I mean? But instead, it's actually, he's just been set up for a letdown, and he's giving the paper because he's just so lost that he doesn't realize, that at least look at it. At least look deeper. Like me, I'm trying to argue in the panel. But when I say, no, you don't have to fake. No, you don't have to lie. No, you can really truly be Black with a Black name, and then that's okay. The whole panel breaks up. I'm looked at as that she's the bad nigger. Look at her. She's trying to tell us to do the right thing. That, who dare her? She don't even know. She got her own business. It don't matter. But how about maybe you deserve the opportunity that if everybody in the world doesn't like your name, then maybe you should start your own business. Maybe we do need to look at it as an option. Maybe that's okay. Why do I have to be the enemy if I'm telling you that we should stand up for ourselves, that we do not have to be invisible? We don't have to be. So, and then another interesting part of it, I thought, was that he had a situation where once he was living up north and giving out these bad letters, and he gets beat up in a really bad beat up during these riots and everything. And this is, remember, this is fiction, but all of it is symbolic. So he's beat down, torn up. He meets this really nice black woman, and she gets him together. She pulls him together. She repairs him, and he's healthy and he's strong, and he feels that he has to go, that this is cool and everything, and he feels like he has to go, he has to get out, he has to do something other than this. Amazing, right? But so much symbolism there. Even if it's like your parents that love you, or it's your wife that loves you, or your husband that loves you, or something, you know what I mean? I just see so many people, like I have personally never had anybody believe in me. You know what I'm saying? I haven't had that opportunity, but I've seen people who believe in them, who have done everything to help them be successful, and we don't feel like we should be with that person, that we don't see all that they have done in order to get you where you are. Even the way we sometimes get to a point of success, and then you look down on your own community. You don't want to be identified as being black anymore. You know, it's the same symbolism, the same thing. Like, that is a challenge for us to think, you know, where they think, oh, where there's black people moving in my neighborhood, now my neighborhood's going to move down. And you're black and you're thinking that and you're feeling that way, instead of saying, hi, we're all black. What can we do to keep our community values up? If you don't have to sell it to anybody else but another black person, that's okay. You still can make money. You still can make money. Why are we thinking that the only way that we can sell our house and make money is the house gets sold to somebody white? White people don't see it that way. Black people buy houses from white people all the time. Why do we have to feel that way? Why can't you? The symbolism is deep there. Believe in those who believe in you. Why is it that so many people, unfortunately, black people, don't like AfroEconomics? That's sad. I reject the thought of thinking that you actually could hate yourself so much that you cannot like something that actually focuses on financial empowerment for you. I really reject it, and I ask God that He heal everyone that feels that they don't deserve to be acknowledged and focused on financially. It's sad. It's sad. So, and also I wanted to make sure that we look at that. I wanted to make sure that I talked about the I don't want to say the name of the school, but the example from the university I spoke at, and then a second one, the being materialistic and going into debt is a way that you make yourself invisible, because being materialistic forces you to accept things that you wouldn't ordinarily accept, but you feel that I have to do it because I want that. I have to do these things. I have to accept that type of behavior. I have to change my name and act like I'm something that I'm not, or present myself as something that I'm not. I have to lie to people who deserve to know you. If you're saying that you're in an environment that appreciates diversity, why in the world would you need to be something that you're not? I'm not even gonna keep belaboring that. So, if you're materialistic, you become desperate and fearful, and you think you have to do whatever you have to do because I've got to make this money by any means necessary. The money is good, but by any means necessary, that's kind of tough if you're talking about selling your soul in order to make it happen. That's just not cool. It will kill you. And then a third point, so, you know, avoiding materialism and avoiding debt, that's a second. A third is to running your credit. Running your credit puts you at, ruining. Don't even understand my own writing, right? Ruining your credit puts you at the mercy of lenders and banks and going around begging and feeling ridiculous, pulls down your self-esteem. You know what I'm saying? So don't buy or agree or sign the dotted line on anything that you really aren't ready to hustle to make sure that you can keep it. So you have a salary job, they fire you. Are you willing, you know, you going into debt because you got this great salary job. You got to realize, you know, that they can let you go. They can lay you off, they can fire you, can do whatever they want. That's their money. They can get rid of you. So you got to realize you got to be willing to do what you got to do to pay that. Regardless, you got to make sure that you're willing to work somewhere else. Make sure that that gets done. You're willing to do whatever, clean anything legal in order to get the money to keep that commitment. If you're not willing to do that and you only want to do that job, then maybe you need to consider buying and saving up, not going into debt, because nothing is guaranteed. Nothing. So, and then a fourth point about entrepreneurship. You know, we become invisible because too many of us insist on never believing in entrepreneurship. And if you don't believe in entrepreneurship, why can't you believe in entrepreneurship for your children? Why can't you believe that it could work for them, even though it didn't work for Junebug, Cousin Louie, you know, Uncle Sunk lost everything? That does not have to apply to your child or your husband or your wife, that doesn't have to apply to you because they got you. I honestly believe that my daughter can accomplish things that I couldn't accomplish because she's got me. You are the difference. So don't, you know, entrepreneurship needs to be viewed. The seventh principle of AfroEconomics is entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship. You're looking at the seventh principle of this book is that our Black wealth matters, and a big part of developing wealth has to be about entrepreneurship, running yourself as a business, even if you don't have a business, having that entrepreneurship, the fearless entrepreneur, principle 7. And then, so believing in entrepreneurship. And the fifth is becoming examples of being invisible is destroying your family. The breakdown of the Black family, and I truly believe this, allows us to be bullied and abused because we don't have the backing that we should. And we need to realize that we should protect each other, that that you should combine as a family. If you need to have, I saw Brother Dr. Umar, who was talking about the importance of school and not going into school as a single parent, which I do very often. And he was saying that you shouldn't go into schools as a single parent and making them feel that nobody cares about their child but you. You know what I'm saying? If you have other extended family and friends that can help you build a good family structure, a stronger family structure, and you have something that you want to say and make sure that your child is protected in school, bring them all. Bring them all. And I thought that was a very, very, very good point, that, you know, our family makes you, the stronger your family, and this doesn't have to be blood relatives, but building that family, it takes a village, you know what I mean? And that will make sure that you are not, and that your child is not, and that your family is not invisible. So the principles of AfroEconomics allow us to avoid this American dilemma of being invisible. We don't have to be. The 10 principles of AfroEconomics before you leave me are legacy, self-reliance, organization, knowledge, integrity, review and accountability, the fearless entrepreneur, 8, have credit confidence, 9, determination, and 10, Black health and Black wealth. I'm JB Bryan, and I'm the President and Chief Investment Officer at JB Bryan Financial Group, a registered investment advisory firm. This is the website, AfroEconomics.com. There are free financial workshops every month. I do these free every week. Now, April's going to be in the DC office. Virginia's got March again. April, May, I'll probably focus on let's going to DC. But let's make sure that you take advantage of the opportunities for free financial empowerment. Email me, jb@jbbryan.com. Check out the membership. You see down here right on the website, you go down and then it'll give you all the details on becoming a member of AfroEconomics. No matter where you live, you can become a member, and I will make sure if we have to Skype, we will get it done and we'll do our meetings. And that AfroEconomics memberships make sure it assures you of having at least 4 financial empowerment meetings with me one-on-one via Skype, and then we do the group meetings after the monthly meetings as well. For members only is the second part of the Saturdays. But most importantly are our one-on-one. You get financial planning software that I send to you. You fill it out, we start interacting that way. We do a full risk analysis. You get exposure with anything that you want me to help you with during those times, but I'm your accountability partner. Let's make it happen. Again, have a blessed day. I look forward to building with you. Take care.